The 60s gave us the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Jimi Hendrix. But what about the songs that got left behind? Some of these tracks were massive back in the day but have since vanished from radio playlists. Others were overshadowed by bigger hits, and some? Well, they have juicy backstories involving feuds, lost loves, and even a few scandalous rumors. So grab your bell bottoms and join me as we rediscover 15 incredible 60s songs that deserve their place in the spotlight once again. Number 15, She's Not There by the Zombies.
Trying to find her, she's not there. Well, let me tell you.
The Zombies were often considered the thinking person's band of the British invasion, blending jazz, blues, and eerie melodies. She's Not There wasn't just hauntingly beautiful. It also had one of the most mysterious origins in rock history. According to rumors, the song was inspired by a real-life breakup that left keyboardist Rod Argent devastated. But here's where it gets wild. Some say the woman he wrote about disappeared without a trace. Some even believe she was a runaway heiress, though Argent has never confirmed it. Another controversy? The song's jazz-infused sound was so sophisticated that many people refused to believe it was written by a bunch of British kids in their early 20s. Some even thought it was a cover of an old jazz standard. But nope, it was 100% original.
Well, no one told me about her. What could I do?
And did you know Santana gave the song a funky makeover in the 70s? Yeah, it became a hit all over again. Number 14, Different Drum by the Stone Poneys.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it's not that I knock it, it's just that I'm not in the...
Linda Ronstadt was barely 21 when she recorded Different Drum, a breakup anthem so bold that record executives almost refused to release it. Why? Well, the lyrics were shockingly independent for the time. It wasn't about a heartbroken woman begging a man to stay. It was the woman walking away. In the 60s, that was taboo in pop music.
Only me, yes, and I saying you.
The song was originally written by Mike Nesmith of the Monkees, but the Monkees never recorded it. Some insiders claim Nesmith actually hated how Ronstadt sang it, saying she made it too emotional. Others say he was just salty that her version became a hit while his band was stuck in sitcom land. Regardless, Different Drum launched Ronstadt's career and is now seen as one of the first feminist breakup anthems in rock history. Number 13, Time Has Come Today by the Chambers Brothers.
Anyway, time has come today. Hey!
If you think the Rolling Stones were rebellious, wait until you hear about the Chambers Brothers. Time Has Come Today wasn't just a song. It was a revolution in music.
Hey! Oh my Lord! I have to roam! Hey!
The 11-minute psychedelic masterpiece was rejected by multiple record labels for being too long, too weird, and too black for rock radio. The controversy? Many say the song's trippy, distorted sound was influenced by acid trips the band had while recording. The band denies it, but come on, listen to that echoing Time Has Come Today, and tell me it doesn't sound like a psychedelic fever dream. Even crazier? The song was banned from some southern radio stations for being too radical due to its association with the civil rights movement. Number 12, Itchycoo Park by Small Faces.
Tell you why it's all too beautiful.
Itchycoo Park sounds innocent enough, but let's talk about that big controversy. Was it about LSD? Lead singer Steve Marriott swore it wasn't. But let's be real. The line, "It's all too beautiful," sure sounds like someone peeking on a trip.
It's all too beautiful. It's all
Another wild rumor? The song title supposedly came from a park in East London, where kids would go to smoke something other than cigarettes. Despite the debate, the song was briefly banned by the BBC for its drug connotations. The band played dumb, claiming it was just about the joys of childhood. Number 11, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by the Electric Prunes.
I had too much to dream last night. Too much to dream.
A band called the Electric Prunes sounds like they're either psychedelic rock legends or a bad joke about digestion. Thankfully, they were the former. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night was a trippy masterpiece, with its distorted opening riff literally sounding like a dream warping into reality.
I'm ready to face the light. I had too much to dream.
But let's get to the drama. Despite having a hit song, the Electric Prunes were completely controlled by their record label. The band members didn't even get to play on some of their own records. Producers forced them to record weird, experimental albums they didn't even write. The result? They were essentially erased from music history after 1968. The Electric Prunes never got the respect they deserved, but their influence on garage rock and psychedelia can still be heard today. Number 10, Hello, I Love You by The Doors.
Hello, I love you, let me jump in your game. Hello.
Jim Morrison, the poet, the rebel, the rock god. But did you know The Doors' biggest pop hit almost got them sued? Hello, I Love You was their second number one hit, but the Kinks weren't thrilled. Ray Davies of the Kinks accused The Doors of ripping off All Day and All of the Night. While no lawsuit happened, Davies once snarked, if they needed a song, they could have just asked, and here's the spicy bit. Jim Morrison wrote this about a random woman he saw in Venice Beach and became obsessed with. He never spoke to her, but he was convinced she had magical energy.
I love you, let me jump in your game. She's walking down the...
Some Doors fans believe she was actually Pamela Courson, Morrison's longtime partner. But others think she was a total mystery woman. Whoever she was, she inspired one of the Doors' most underrated hits. Number 9, Green Tambourine by the Lemon Pipers.
Drop your silver in my tambourine. Elbow for man.
Green Tambourine sounds innocent, right? Wrong. This was one of the first psychedelic bubblegum pop songs, and it caused chaos behind the scenes. The Lemon Pipers hated this song. They were a bluesy rock band, but their record label forced them to record commercial bubblegum songs to make money.
Start to shine. Reflections of the music that is mine.
They didn't even get to write most of their own material. Rumor has it the band was so frustrated with their label that they almost quit music entirely. One member later said, "We had a smile on TV while playing a song we despised." Despite their resentment, Green Tambourine hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But instead of success, it led to the band breaking up. Number 8, Spooky by Classics 4.
Love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you.
If Spooky isn't on your date night playlist, you're missing out. This song is smooth, sexy, and a little dangerous. Originally an instrumental jazz track, it only became a hit when lyrics were added later. And here's the wild part. Some claim it was originally about a real woman who had witchy vibes. Was she an actual witch? Probably not.
I get confused 'cause I don't know where I stand, and then you smile.
But according to legend, the song was inspired by a mysterious woman in a jazz club who always dressed in black and seemed to disappear like a ghost. Even now, it remains one of the most seductive 60s songs ever recorded. Alright, let's take a quick break. Which of these songs has surprised you the most so far? Do you remember any of these songs? Drop a comment and tell us your favorite forgotten 60s song. Number 7, Incense and Peppermints by Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Good sense, innocence, crippling mankind. Dead kings, many things I can.
This song is peak psychedelic madness. The lyrics? Totally nonsensical. The name of the band? A Fever Dream. Here's where it gets weird. The lead singer wasn't even in the band. When it came time to record, the producers thought the actual lead singer's voice wasn't trippy enough, so they brought in a random teenage friend to sing it. The guy? Greg Munford. The irony? He never joined the band and never sang with them again.
To divide the cockeyed world in two. Throw you by the one.
Despite the chaos, Incense and Peppermints hit number 1 on the charts and became a psychedelic anthem. Today, it's still the only song people remember from Strawberry Alarm Clock. Number 6, Sunny by Bobby Hebb.
Sonny, you smiled at me and really easy.
A song born from tragedy. Bobby Hebb wrote Sunny after his brother was murdered in a mugging the same day JFK was assassinated. Rather than sinking into grief, Hebb wrote one of the most uplifting songs of all time. His goal? To bring light to a dark world.
My sunny one shines so sincere and sunny one so true.
The result? A song that's been covered by over 200 artists, including Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and Cher. Despite its success, Hebb never had another hit. Some believe his label held him back because he refused to become a more marketable pop star. Others say he was just too ahead of his time. Number 5. Shapes of Things by the Yardbirds. Before Led Zeppelin and before Eric Clapton became a legend, there was the Yardbirds, one of the most influential bands in rock history. Shapes of Things wasn't just a hit, it was a warning. The song's lyrics talked about environmental destruction and war, topics that were almost unheard of in rock music at the time. But here's where the controversy starts. Was this song the first true psychedelic rock track? Some argue it was the Beatles' Tomorrow Never Knows, while others insist the Yardbirds got there first. One thing's for sure, Jeff Beck's guitar work was revolutionary. He used feedback and sustain in ways no one had heard before. But here's the real drama. The band was falling apart behind the scenes. Beck was pushing the limits of rock, while other members wanted to stick to blues. Shapes of Things may have been the Yardbirds' peak, but it also marked the beginning of the end for the band. Number 4. Journey to the Center of the Mind by the Amboy Dukes.
Journey to the center of the mind. Come along and
A song that's wild, psychedelic, and controversial to this day. The Amboy Dukes were a hard rock band with one very familiar name, Ted Nugent. Yep, the future guitar-shredding, politically outspoken Nugent was the lead guitarist here. The song is a trip, literally. The lyrics describe a journey deep into one's subconscious mind, full of surreal imagery. Here's the juicy part. Ted Nugent later denied the song was about drugs at all. He claimed he was anti-drug his whole life, and he just played the music while other members were experimenting. But let's be real, the rest of the band was definitely partying in the 60s way. Whether you believe Nugent or not, Journey to the Center of the Mind remains one of the most intense psychedelic rock tracks of the era. Number 3. The Rain, the Park, and Other Things by the Cowsills. This song is pure sunshine. The Cowsills were the real-life inspiration for the Partridge Family, a band of siblings making perfect pop harmonies. But behind the happy-go-lucky image was a dark secret. Their father, Bud Cowsill, was their manager, and he was ruthless. He controlled every aspect of their lives, even physically abusing them if they didn't perform to his standards. Despite the chaos, The Rain, the Park, and Other Things became a massive hit. Some fans even called it the happiest song ever written. Either way, the song remains a bubblegum pop masterpiece with a mysterious twist. Number 2, Laugh Laugh by the Beau Brummels. Ever heard of the first San Francisco rock band to make it big? That's the Beau Brummels. Laugh Laugh was their breakthrough hit, blending folk rock and British invasion sounds. But behind the scenes, the band was constantly fighting with their record label. Here's the gossip. The Beau Brummels were originally supposed to be the American version of the Beatles. Their label even forced them to dress like British rockers to trick people into thinking they were from England. But the band hated this. They wanted to be recognized for their original folk rock sound, not some Beatles ripoff. Another controversy? This song was actually about a real woman, the lead singer's ex, who had publicly humiliated him. According to insiders, she laughed in his face after a breakup, and this song was his revenge. In the end, Laugh Laugh became a classic, but the Beau Brummels were never allowed to reach their full potential. Alright, we've made it to the final song on our list. This track wasn't just underrated. It was almost erased from history, a song that became legendary after the 60s, proving that true classics never die. Ready? Here it is. Number 1, Everybody's Talkin' by Harry Nilsson. A song about escaping life, but the real story? This song escaped being forgotten. Written by Fred Neil, it was almost never recorded. Nilsson only sang it because he needed a song for the Midnight Cowboy soundtrack.
Banking off of the northeast
east winds sailing on.
The movie became iconic, and suddenly, Everybody's Talking was a massive hit. The controversy? Nilsson and Fred Neil hated each other. Neil thought Nilsson's version was too soft, while Nilsson thought Neil was too much of a musical purist who didn't understand pop appeal. In the end, Nilsson's version won a Grammy and made the song timeless. Today, it's a track that perfectly captures the feeling of wanting to escape reality. And that's our list. Which of these songs do you think deserves a comeback? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe to Retro Rewind, and hit that bell, because we've got more forgotten classics coming your way.